So it's Turtle Week here on a Not So Awesome Review, and today we are looking at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the NES game by Ultra Games, which is technically Konami. If you know, Konami did publish the other two games for the Nintendo Entertainment System, but what you may not know is that Ultra is technically Konami, because back in the day, Nintendo had this thing where, to minimize an overflow of the market of games coming out, they limited their licenses to a certain amount per company per year. So to get around this, Konami made Ultra. It's pretty smart, if you ask me. Which is also the same reason why, if you play the original Metal Gear, that one's actually also published by Ultra, if I'm correct, on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Don't quote me. Pretty sure it is. Anyways, you can see the box art here has all four turtles with their red mask, just like how they are in the comic books. And in the back we have some screens from the game, as well as this long description that I'm not going to bother reading. It is one player only, and it is telling us to look for the action figures by Playmate Toys. I guess they never gave up the rights to make toys, because they're actually the ones still making them, just in case you didn't know. Now unfortunately I don't have the manual for this, but I have the game, and that's all that matters. So let's put this in and just let's check it out. What? Doesn't everybody use a Famicom? So when you turn on the game, you get greeted with the start sign, and if you wait a few seconds, you get a little bit of an animation showing all the turtles kind of growing up, and we get introduced to all of them one by one: Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Donatello, which is probably the best character in this game. And we get like a little cutscene, kind of just showing what's happening, I guess kind of telling the story. April gets kidnapped, and it's up to you to save her, because that's apparently what they went with. But anyways, when we start the game, we get onto this little overworld map, which we'll get to explore later, but first we go down the manhole cover into the sewer, where we fight Mousers and other things, and are now in a platforming kind of setting. You know, something controls jump, attack, nothing fancy there. We do get to choose between all four turtles randomly whenever we want in the game, which is good. And we do get special weapons throughout the game, which we can select our normal weapon and your special weapon with the select button. Special weapons usually some type of throwing thing, and there is a little invincibility thing that I found. I think it's only like in one level that I know of so far. I didn't actually make it too far in the game. Yeah, well, like I said, bad guys, Mousers, some Foot Clan members, Bebop and Rocksteady as bosses, and then some random kind of weird bad guys that I have no idea what they are. Anyways, the gameplay is pretty simple. Just make it to one side of the screen. Sometimes you gotta go up, sometimes you gotta go down. You know, kill whatever's in your path or try and avoid it. The most difficult thing about this game is the fact that the enemies do respawn, and then every once in a while you'll find a map where you make it to the end and then you have to go back the same way you came in, which is kind of weird. Usually there's the pizza at the end, which does refill your health, but other than that, it is kind of a waste. The overworld map, you can't really go anywhere you want. It gives you the illusion of it, but you have to go on a set path up until you get to the Turtle Van, because if not, you'll be ran over by the bad guys' vehicles, which you actually do have to fight when you're in the Turtle Van. And the Turtle Van actually has the turtles' health individually, so you theoretically get 4 different bars of health, which is good and bad, because you would think the Turtle Van would have its own health, since you can jump out of it when you want, but you do need it to destroy some barriers to continue on to the game. The level design isn't too bad. A lot of them are pretty short, and the game does start off a little bit hard. I know for me, when I put the game in the first few times, it was difficult. It gets a lot easier as you progress, and you start learning how to use the different turtles' abilities and which one would be best for what situation, because although Donatello is like probably the best one since he has a long range attack, he can hit enemies above the platform. He isn't that good when it comes to downward attacks, and that's where Leonardo kind of steps in, and Michelangelo's like a little bit of it in between there. Raphael is the worst, unfortunately. With his short range weapon, he can't really do much, but he's there, and you can utilize him for health, which is what I usually do. Is I just wait until I'm getting hurt with my main turtles and use him as just a shield until I can find pizza for the other guys. Which, if you want to know how to get kind of unlimited health, which could help you out, especially before the underwater stage, the pizzas do regenerate in the stages, and you can go back to them. And in the stage right before you go to the pizza, right before you go to the underwater swimming, which is the most annoying stage in this game, you can go back to the stage before it, and right at the end of it, there is a piece of pizza right there. You can get to it pretty easy without getting hurt, and refill your life over and over and over until all of your turtles are there. And later on in the game, if one of your turtles does get captured, you can rescue it, so you will be able to get your turtle back. And you do have continues. I don't know how many, but you do have continues. Gameplay wise, like I said, it is a fun game. It's difficult, but once you get used to it, it's definitely a lot of fun. And yeah, there's really not much else to say about it aside from it's challenging, it's hard. I couldn't beat it. Maybe one day. The bad guys, like I said, are a little weird with these like weird chainsaw guys, these weird, I don't, swamp fire things, and these upside down spiders. So it's just, it is a little strange, but it's fun, it's challenging. It's not challenging to the point where you're throwing your controller in anger, although it can be frustrating at times. Just play it a few times, you'll get used to it, and probably enjoy it a lot. This game is definitely, you know, not easy, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, it can be frustrating at times, but for the most part, you know, it's a good game. It's the first of the Turtle games ever made on a home console, and it's, you know, it's really good. Like, there is issues, like I said before, with, you know, I think Donatello is definitely the strongest one here. Raphael, they unfortunately made pretty much the weakest turtle, since his weapon has no range and can't really do much. I just use him for when I need, you know, someone to take hits while I find a pizza for Donatello to heal. But yeah, it's a good game, and, you know, it's pretty cheap out there. You know, if you find it, I'd recommend getting it. It's a lot of fun. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little review for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for NES. Come back tomorrow for the review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, or the arcade game for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Till then, thank you for watching, and goodbye.